It's been clicking, particularly with the power stuff recently.
Staying consistent, I guess, with the work that we're doing. Nothing crazy that's changed, just staying consistent with Coach Marta.
You are looking sharp, looking handsome, my friend. We're going to have fun today. I have with me Josh Kasevich with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, drafted 2022, second round, pick 60 overall.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. Somebody who came highly recommended to the show. I think you know the gentleman that may have thought highly of you, Mr. McAdoo.
Awesome dude. I love that guy.
He's phenomenal, man. I know, man, you've been around a little bit. I looked at some recent interviews. You've definitely been getting some exposure, which is smart, and that's amazing. Yeah. Let's start with how the anniversary went, man. How'd it go? Where'd you guys go?
It was good. We ended up making dinner. It was our 1 year anniversary of being engaged. So I proposed last year, February 3rd. We're getting married November 9th. So November's in my mind there. But it was great. Yeah, just got to make dinner together, spend the evening together, which is all.
November of this year?
Yep.
All right, I'll make sure you have my address for the invite, so we'll get on that.
Yeah, save the date should be coming out soon, so let me know.
Yeah, thanks. You going back, is she a West Coast girl?
Yeah, she's from Southern California. I'm from Northern California. We met in school, but my parents moved out of California. Her parents are gone from California. So we're like, let's just make people come to us. Like, come to Florida. It's beautiful in November. So
is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay, so that's pretty wild. My wife and I got married at the Ritz in Lido Key, which is Sarasota.
We're right outside of Sarasota.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So Dunedin, I have some family in Wesley Chapel, so I do go down. You know, I've been to the Blue Jays facility a few times. I like to go over to Lakeland with the Tigers. Our family is humongous Braves fans, so we're down in Northport a lot. And this year I promised all these guys, man, I've done like 7 or 8 Boston Red Sox predominantly pitchers, so I got to go down to Fort Myers this year. I promised all these guys I was coming down. So I am going to stop in Dunedin, man. I just planned it out, and we're going to make a stop, see you, hopefully McAdoo, and you know whoever else we end up having. But it is a great area. I'm going to get into a real serious question first that I often like to ask people, and that's, are you a gum or a seeds guy?
If I'm playing, seeds. Off day, I'll try to go like 3-inning intervals. So seeds, break up the salt with some sweetness, throw some gum in, and then go back to seeds.
You're like me. How good are those salty and sweet seeds, the new ones?
They're the David's ones are
the Davids.
Yeah, the little purple package, like top notch.
I'll tell you what, man, I gotta get sponsored by Dave. First of all, shout out to Johnny Damon, my friend Johnny Damon in A Game. That's up and coming hydration drink. If you haven't seen it yet, you're gonna start seeing it everywhere. Him, Mr. Bo Jackson are involved with it. Some real big names that are trying to really endorse the product. It's phenomenal. Shout out to Ball Players Bomb. Shout out to Mark Paul and Solero Shades and the No Daddy Ball concept. So a couple of sponsors to check off the list there. Now, as far as the seeds go, I need to get them on my list of sponsors because we talk about it often. And David, I just feel like you can't beat the David. Am I right?
Classic. That was what I had in my Little League ballpark. Like they're nostalgic to chew on. Like top of the line is the Davids for sure.
Have you had the Frank's Red Hot?
I have a thing for Frank. Frank's is like, I need a bottle of Frank's everywhere I go.
Listen,
like
Buffalo, the Anchor Bar, the first chicken wing ever. I'm not sure. You know what? You were in Buffalo last year, so I'm not sure which chicken wing joints that you frequented. One of my big sponsors is Elmo's. Shout out to Elmo's. Best chicken wings in Buffalo. You and I will. The season's coming up. I'm going to take you out, I promise, and we're going to go to Elmo's, have some wings. They are the best around. But the Anchor Bar is known for it. The old story is, I don't know if you've heard it, that she had college kids. They came home one night late, which I'm assuming they were, boozing it up or something. And they were all super hungry. And the only thing she had left was like these scraps of the wings. So she threw them all in the fryer and that became the chicken wings. But it was Frank's Red Hot and butter.
Simple.
Right? That's all it was, man. And Frank's is phenomenal. I'm with you. Like, I got to have a bottle of Frank's. I mean, you can put that on eggs, anything.
Anything. The most versatile hot sauce out there.
For sure. I told you, this is going to be real serious. We're going to get into the real hardcore stuff here.
I love it.
We are going to talk a little baseball, man. I mean, I saw it was interesting, when you were at Oregon and kind of looking at the progression that COVID season or that half slowed down COVID season. COVID did a lot of things for a lot of different people, most of them negative, right? However, it seems, and I do see this often in certain real like small doses, right? Like a little shot of hot sauce, that it actually helps some people. And in your case, it helped you. It was whatever was going on that season, man. You got the monkey off your back and you came out just guns a-blazing, right? And were able to just crush the next season, man, and really put yourself on the map. Did you do anything when that season was shortened, or was there specific training that you did? Did you or was it maybe like, you were trying to get back into the love of the game, or what was going on in that time?
Yeah, I love this question. So I've been asked this one a couple times too, and I'll always go back to, so the first year wasn't like a slump or like just a bad year. I just wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't physical. I wasn't ready to play at that level. Kind of got my teeth kicked in a little bit for those 15 games before COVID hit.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big sample size, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I got my feet wet. Like I kind of knew what I had to do, which was awesome for me. And yeah, COVID, horrible time. Like, don't want that to happen to the world again. For me, it was the best thing ever. I was told we were on the bus to go to UCLA. I was told I was going to transition to start a shortstop going in after my stellar performance for those 15 games. Season gets canceled. I go home. I know I have to like add muscle, refine my swing, get better defensively, all the above. So I had a really good group of guys and a great trainer back home. And we would just grind like sun up to sun down. So it was Henry Bolte, who was drafted a couple picks before me by the A's, Xander Darby, who was drafted this last year, and our trainer Jamal, who was just the man.
Not to cut you off, I got Xander. We've been talking every day. He had surgery today or yesterday, and him and I have been talking, and I think he's on tomorrow. That's crazy that you just mentioned him.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Just coincidence, man. That's crazy. Yeah,
you had no idea. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We would go to his backyard and just like rusty metal weights, like old Kate, and just like grind, like doing lifts that you couldn't even imagine for however long COVID was. And then we went back and people were like, dude, what happened? I'm like, I just grinded.
Did
and
you
so
put
for
on,
myself,
did you put on weight? I mean, was there more power?
Sure, I put on about 10 pounds of muscle. It's not crazy, but just like fully rounded myself out, got more athletic, more mobile, like all the above.
I mean, it worked. Whatever that recipe was, it worked. And I didn't see a whole lot prior to that, to be quite honest, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I mean, I didn't study your film before that. I saw you play a little bit. Were you a bag stealer? Did your speed improve or anything, or was that always part of the game?
Not really. I mean, I definitely got faster during that time, maybe, but that was never like a big focus. It was more just like, let's get strong.
Yeah, just kind of came with it. And your focus was on the strength. And yeah, and then you came out, man, and it wasn't only the strength and the power, it was average. It seemed like contact was there. What I noticed about you from the sample sizes that I've seen, and I love this personally, and some of my favorite players to ever play and still actively playing have this approach, is attacking on the first couple of swings. It's not a lack of patience. It's just getting after.
What if that's the best one you get?
You know what I'm saying? And not only that, and it's almost just as unexpected to go after these first pitches as it is for you not knowing what he's going to throw, right? So if you can read that right, and you seem very cerebral, it seems like maybe it's guessing, so maybe I'm giving you more credit, but you seem to do pretty well with it, man. And there is some guesswork that goes into it, right? Do you study film? Will you watch him and see what he's throwing early?
I'll go through what he's throwing, kind of pitch shapes, heat zones, stuff like that, just to put a plan together. And then I always like to go back to my strengths. Like I don't necessarily like to look where the pitchers are most dense in the zone, but I like to look where I know I can do damage and kind of hunt that sake. But yeah, like you said, I love being aggressive. Like I was watching live at bats today and somebody was like, oh, that like first pitch swing, like that's crazy. I'm like, it's really not that crazy. Like just being aggressive, you get 4 or 5 pitches in that bat, you got to hit one. Like what if that first pitch is the one that's going to be served up on a platter?
See, and I absolutely love that attitude, man. And I think that you see that now more with the youth, the exuberance that's coming into the game, right? I've said to a lot of these catchers that I've been talking to that's become kind of sexy position now with catching. And along with that, you see the aggressiveness that's coming with different positions as well. And part of that is going after these swings, going after things early. Listen, baseball has gotten more exciting. Traditionalists can say what they want, man, but the speed of the game, the way everything's going right now, the bigger bags, so there's more action. I'm not going to say, you notice I didn't say it's easier to steal. I said there's more action because it's not easy to steal, right? Like not everybody's Ronald Acuna or Ellie De La Cruz. Like, I mean, it's still, there's a craft to stealing. And yes, my favorite part of it though, man, and I'd like to hear your theory on this. My favorite part of it is just the throw over, limiting the throwovers,
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I think like back at Oregon, our coach was methodical with how we would game. So we'd pick like 7 or 8 times to one guy, and like you're on defense or in the dugout, and you're just like, let's get on with it. Like I get it, there's a game plan, but like, come on. Yeah. So I know I love it, and I saw a clip the other day of Cedric Mullins, he like baited the guy to throw over after just like a step off because of a pitch comm issue. The pitcher's probably not thinking that that's a disengagement, but he knew it and was able to just swipe second right after that.
I love
So
it.
it's a cool little intricate part of the game that like it takes some strategy and you can really use that to your advantage.
I totally agree with you. And the fact that it's the two pitch overs, right? And that's the strategy. So people say, oh man, it's, once you have to know when to use those too. Now they're still picking guys off, right? And if the good ones, Max Fried, one of my favorite pitchers, those guys are still going to pick off. They almost have a sixth sense for when the guy's going to go. And again, we can always put luck in as some of that, but they're just so good at their craft of picking off. They're still going to get them. But fans don't want to sit there and watch, like you just said at Oregon. They don't want to sit and watch 6, 7, 8 attempts. And what I started thinking, man, is they were just warming up the bullpen at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like tie a shoe out there, might as well.
That's all they were doing. They were warming it up. Now you pitched, right?
Yeah, I was a pitcher in high school. I got recruited like most kids who played D1. I like good arm, throw him on the mound, why not? Went into Oregon, pitched in the fall, and then we came back like my freshman year going into the spring right after winter break, and I just got shelled. And our pitching coach called me and was like, "Hey, like let's just stick to hitting." And it was such a relief at that point.
Really? Were you just kind of like
It's like so hard to do both, and like I love playing the field, I love hitting, like playing every day is what I love to do. So pitching is just kind of what was able to get me there. But then
your honesty is your honesty is super refreshing, dude. I think a lot of people would say like, maybe just give a glorified excuse there. And that's just straight up honesty. I got shelled and it was time to move on, and you kind of know you're such a good athlete that, baseball's your game. You're going to play, right? You're not going to pitch. Leave that to somebody else and let me go maximize my potential at another position. You do have a pitcher's type frame. I think 6'2", couple 200, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I did some homework. It's definitely a pitcher's frame, and well, who knows now, right? Now they want 6'7", 220, a guy that. How was the arm strength, the velo? Where were you at?
It was like up to 90. When I came back, like the last pitch, I gave up a grand slam. My last pitch ever, actually, grand slam to right center, one of our lefties. It was like 87 right down the middle.
Yeah.
Flat, no run, just meatball.
Did you have an arsenal of pitches?
I kind of got lucky with my older brother. I tried to mimic everything he did growing up. So he taught me how to throw a curveball. I had a pretty good curveball. So like if I was to categorize myself now,
Yeah.
I was a carry heater and a Big 12-6 kind of off of that.
Hold on, you were on what?
That was the plan. Carry heater and a Big 12-6 curveball to kind of go off that tunnel. Did it work out? Absolutely not. That's why I'm not talking to you about my pitching career.
No, but you're rifling balls over from third. Have you predominantly been at short or third?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Who's been playing third in Buffalo?
There was Arelvis, Martinez, Damiano, Palmagiani, Riley Tirada, a couple really good ball players.
So quite a few in and out. Now, the season last year, and pardon my ignorance here, were you in Buffalo the whole time?
I got moved up with about 2 months left.
Okay. But I'll tell you what, man, that's a big accomplishment, for 2020. I just had Cam Collier on, right? 2022 first round pick, your 2022 second round pick. Listen, Cam is a brilliant, phenomenal athlete, but I think by attrition, bro, like you're moving here now, you're in Buffalo, and that's a step away. And I don't want to say this to jinx anyone, but it could be an injury away, it could be a bad streak away, and you're right there on the brink, and there's zero doubt that your talent is there and your bat speed's there, and you know what I mean? All of the tools that these organizations look for in a player, I'm looking at it right now across the screen from me. So I'm rooting for you. Like, I'm so stoked, man. And that's where I'm going to go into this Buffalo a little bit, where we are. Buffalo has a great fan base. It's a little bit of an underrated, right? And it's people around here. There's kind of an old school, you get the old school guys, the old timers who still do their own score sheets. And those are the guys that are going to be there opening day in Buffalo, because there's probably still going to be snow on the ground. So you weren't there opening day last year. We got 2 feet out there right now. And listen, there's no signs of it melting. The ice fishermen are out on the water. It's nuts, dude. It's like, this is the coldest winter I can remember in a long time. Usually we'll get a big storm, it'll melt, big storm, melt. I'm telling you right now, there's been 2 feet of snow on the ground for 2 months. My dog's looking at me like I'm insane. I'm trying to let the dog out. She's like, This ain't happening. Just bombs all over my front lawn. I mean, I'm not even walking her anymore, man. It's like, come on, right? This is ridiculous.
I'm not doing this.
How much of Buffalo did you get to see? Like, tell me about your Buffalo experience so far. This is really cool that I get to talk to you about this because you're the first ball player ever that I've gotten to speak with about, coming into Buffalo. There's been guys who have played, in the past, but you coming in and had never been here. And let's be honest, man, Oregon, you're a West Coast guy through and through. You even played in Vancouver, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, about as far
I'm a ways away from there.
Right? You're about as far west as you can get. Vancouver to Buffalo or Vancouver to Boston is about as far as you can get. Tell me what you thought of Buffalo, the vibe, the energy, the environment, the people. How much did you get to see? Splash into that a little bit.
Yeah, so my answer is going to be pretty much revolving around the baseball world. I didn't get to explore too much of the city, but unbelievable. You mentioned the fans were there. We had so many more fans than I could remember playing at any other affiliate. The vibe is great. The stadium is awesome. I can't say enough good things about that facility and just the vibe there. The vibe is just positive. It's so much fun to show up to the ballpark. Wednesday night game, we're getting thousands of people at a minor league game. It's just crazy stuff like that. They have great social media, great fan entertainment, however you want to put it. I really can't say enough good things about just the baseball experience there.
I mean, listen, if you love wings, there's no better spot to be in.
Exactly.
And I'm going to get you through the poser wings, where everybody's going to want you to go. There's always the most popular ones where everybody thinks you should go, and then you're going to get the dive bars from me, the places with the really, really good ones. So like I said, you and I'll certainly be in contact. I'm talking to Pat Malacaro, who is the Bisons PA, the Bisons broadcaster. So him and I have been speaking, and I'm trying to, get kind of a full media access for the Bisons exclusively, because it's not easy, man. I'll tell you what, I've been at this grind for a couple of years. I've had some great guests. I've been working my tail off. And unless you're a major outlet, like Channel 2 or one of these big outlets, it's really difficult to kind of break in. And I was fortunate enough to spend the whole weekend with the Savannah Bananas when they were in Buffalo, and had that meeting.
How was that?
That was phenomenal. I've been seeing
them all over social media, so I want to know your experience at that.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, I had never seen them. They came to Buffalo. I reached out prior, got in touch with the right people, said I want full media access, whatever. This woman couldn't have been cooler. So it was me and then a couple of the local stations, 2-7, whatever. So I came out, literally spent the entire weekend with them, meeting all the guys, hanging out with them. And they have such a different culture, Let's not get it twisted. This is baseball, man. These guys are, these guys are all professional baseball players. Some of them, even guys that I interviewed, had the opportunity to play MLB. They said, okay, here, you can go MLB route. And they said, no, we want to stick with the Bananas just because it's different to them, and they played baseball their whole lives, just traditional baseball. And now they're just having fun. And they're making a lot of money. Coach Rack is a real big name. A couple of the other guys, the magician, the glove magician, Vinny, the dancing umpire, they just do it up. They have a great time with it. And I would highly recommend, checking it out if you can, whether it's in Buffalo or anywhere else, but they just sold out Clemson.
Yeah, I saw that. They're going all over. They're selling out big league stadiums too. So it's got to be a good.
Clemson's 88,000 people.
Wait, baseball stadium?
No, they sold out Clemson Death Valley, the football stadium.
Football? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, 88,000 people, they sold that out. It's entertaining. It's very cool. Recommend it. But as far as, the true baseball element, I'm still going to prefer to go and watch you play. You know what I'm saying?
It's like its own production. They do everything catered to the fan to try to get this huge wide audience. It's
totally. No, totally. Cool. Yeah. Who were your influences coming up? I mean, Oregon, right? California guy. Who was your team? Were you Giants, Dodgers? What were you?
Giants guy. I grew up going to games before they were, I like to say this because of course they won the 3 and 5 years. So I grew up going to games before then. So real fan. Grew up watching Brandon Crawford was my guy. In my mind, there's no better baseball player than Brandon Crawford. Posey, awesome. Joe Panic, Tim Lincecum, all those guys.
Lincecum, man, the freak. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I don't know what happened to him. He was absolutely wild, just an unbelievably good ball player. And you just mentioned him, and that's probably the first time I've heard his name in about 5 years. I don't know what happened.
I know, he fell off a cliff, but he was dominant for his stretch.
Absolutely. That dude was untouchable, man. I just had Ryan Stafford on, who was drafted by the Orioles, and he was telling me a little bit about. So he was a finalist for the Buster Posey Award, and it's the top 3 college catchers. And he got to, like, Buster Posey came, to his family's house for dinner and stuff because he was a finalist, and said just one of the classiest, coolest dudes. And I thought that was so classy. You're a finalist for his award, when he comes and has dinner with you. I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
you don't find that often. How has the celebrity been? And I know that, you're getting your career started, but don't be modest, man. You're a pro ball player and you're a very good one. How has that aspect of things been? Signing autographs, kind of living that lifestyle. How's that been?
It's okay. It's honestly not super crazy, but it's like a dream come true to have all these little kids like running up to you at a game. The only annoying part, like, say you break a bat and then there's like 10 kids by the dugout, like, can I get that bat? And you're like,
yeah, they want everything. They want your gloves. They want your cleats.
yeah, all like, hey, can I get your glasses? Like, I kind of need those.
Dude, yes, like, and they're $300 glasses. That's so funny you say that. My son was in Pittsburgh, and Nick Gonzalez, and he was with his buddy, and they're like, we need your gloves. And he's like, all right, guys, I'll give you my gloves, but I got to go hit batting practice first. I mean, he did it, but it's like, can I use them first? And they're kids. What bugs me is the adults that are out there doing that. I mean, I was waiting. I think Jackson Holiday was in Buffalo, and I went down. He's got a Moneyball hat. He recognized my son and I actually from the show, whatever. And we were talking, and while I'm talking to him, some like 45-year-old like fat dude comes and bumps my son, right? And he's like, Jackson. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to deal with that. I threw the guy away. And then Holiday looked at the guy and he's like, dude, it's like it's such a turnoff for you guys, to see that.
100%. Yeah. You want to, like, about the kids is so much fun. Like, that was me however many years ago.
Yeah.
You want to pass that down and like make some kid's day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you're going to make a lot of kids' days, man. I truly see big things for you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. I think you're just a really, like I said, down to earth guy. I'm really looking forward to the season here. And again, if it doesn't start in Buffalo, whatever the situation is, it will maybe not end there because you might be up in Toronto too,
Never know.
But this is a real blunt, honest question. I don't want you to take it any other way. But how do you view age in baseball now, right? You just turned 24.
Correct.
How do you view that? So there's people, I guess when you have a Cam Collier drafted at 17 and the kid's 20, or a Jordan Walker, right? He's 20, right? And you look at this, Jackson Holiday. I'm noticing with these guys, it's too much pressure too soon. And it's just, it seems to be overwhelming. Some guys can handle it different than others. 24, 25 years old, bro, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you were a puppy, Now they're looking at it like, is he past his prime? Like, what are we talking about? So what is your take? I mean, I think you're just, in my opinion, you're just getting started, getting ready, right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I like being 23 more. I feel like that's a better baseball age, but
well, yeah, I mean,
no, but I mean, I think everybody's different. Like I went the college route. I wasn't ready out of high school. Like some of these guys are, and they can handle it. Great for them, like start their career earlier. But for me, I still feel like I'm just getting going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think so too, man. And like I said, this is going to be exciting. I'm going to, obviously the career path and watching the trajectory, and just, there's nothing that makes me more excited than thinking that, okay, here we are sitting here at this stage of your career, and then just to watch the progression, and then, in a few years, like, man, I get to root for this guy and look what he's doing out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to be in that seat. And like you brought up the kids, and it's just like nostalgic. I remember seeing these guys like shoot football player, but Toby Gerhart at Stanford was like this stand-up guy, like the nicest guy ever to me. And I'll forever root for that guy. He didn't pan out in the NFL. I'll forever be his fan because of how he treated.
Is there anything like that?
I do sauna and ice plunge now.
You do the ice plunge. All right, we got to talk about that. Well, that's the last thing I'll talk about. I need to hear about the ice plunge.
It feels like when you get out, it's great for recovery, like great for your muscles, all that. But I find it's best for like my mental state. First of all, I sleep better. Second of all, I feel like I just had like 3 cups of coffee when I get out. Like you feel energized, refreshed, ready to go. And like pairing that with the sauna is a really cool feeling for your body.
How many days a week will you plunge?
I try to go every day if I can.
Okay.
The time will vary based on the training that I'm doing that day. So say if I have like a strength day and I don't want to fully like close off my muscles, I'll go for a little bit less time just to get the mental benefits. But if I have like a lighter mobility day, I'll spend more time in the ice to try to get that muscle recovery.
I got to try it. A lot of people have told me exactly what you just said. They said it's not even they said it's just you feel a certain kind of way. It's almost like a high, like a euphoria.
Yeah, 100%. And you sleep way better.
That's what they said too.
Not.
Yeah. This was awesome, man. I hope you had fun. Like I said, we're going to keep in touch, man. I wish you nothing but the best for the season. And let's rock and roll, man. Go Herd this year, right?
Let's do it. Ready to go. Looking forward to seeing you in Buffalo too, by the way, and down in Florida.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks again.
All right. Take care, man. Bye.